Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a really beautiful story about a special kind of love and a dance so magical it's almost hard to believe. It's called the Rasa dance, and it all kicks off with a sound that is absolutely impossible to ignore. So, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard a song that was so good that whatever you were doing, playing a game, doing your homework, even eating your favorite snack, you just stopped? And suddenly nothing else mattered? Well, that feeling is exactly what our story is all about today. So get ready, because we're about to journey into a moonlit forest. We're going to hear a sound that changes everything, and we'll see what happens when you decide to follow your heart, no matter what anybody else says. You know, every great story needs the perfect setting to get started. And this one begins on a night that was, well, truly magical. Just picture this. It's a perfect autumn evening. There's this huge, bright, beautiful moon in the sky, making the whole forest of Vrindavan aglow. The air smells sweet, like jasmine flowers. It's just the kind of night where you can feel that something amazing is about to happen. And right on cue, on this perfect night, a sound echoes through the trees. A sound that's about to change everything for everyone who hears it. So our story is all about a very special person named Krishna. He looks up at the sky, sees how beautiful the night is, and thinks, you know what would make this even better? And he decides to play his flute. But let me tell you, this is not just any old flute. This flute is so special, it even has its own name, the Venom. Isn't that a cool word? Let's say it, Venum. And the music that came from this venom, well, that was where all the magic really began. This wasn't just a pretty song. The music from the Vedam was so powerful, so filled with love, it felt like it could reach right into your chest and just capture your heart. It was completely impossible to resist. So, who heard this incredible music? And what did they do about it? Okay. This is where our story gets really good. The young women who lived in the village nearby were called the Gopis. And the moment they heard the song from the Venam, everything else in their world just faded away. Their minds, their hearts, every single thought was suddenly all about Krishna and his incredible music. You know, there's actually a special word for exactly how the Gopis were feeling. It's samutsukaha. It's a big word, but it just means being so eager and excited that nothing can possibly stop you. Let's try it. Samutsukaha. They were filled with this feeling, and they just knew they had to find where that music was coming from. And it all happened in a blink. The second they heard that song, it was like their minds were totally stolen by Krishna. And without even thinking, they dropped everything they were doing, didn't even say goodbye to their families, and just ran. They rushed straight into the forest, and I mean, they dropped everything. Some were right in the middle of milking the cows, others were baking cakes or feeding their babies or even serving dinner. Some were even putting on their makeup and just ran out with their clothes and jewelry all mixed up. None of it mattered anymore. They just had to go. So they finally get to him, probably all out of breath from running. You'd think Krishna would be happy to see them, right? Well, the way he greeted them was pretty surprising. It was almost like he was giving them a test. Can you even believe it? After they abandon everything to run to him, Krishna says, "Oh, welcome. But, you know, this forest is pretty dangerous at night. You should all probably go back home to your families." What a twist, right? And this is where we see the huge choice they had. Krishna told them their duty was to go home and take care of their families. But the Gopis saw it differently. They said, "No, you are our home, and our biggest, most important duty of all is to love you." Their answer was just so full of heart. They begged him, "Please don't crush our hopes. Our feet literally refuse to walk away from you." They had put everything on the line to get here, and they just couldn't bear the thought of being sent away. So, what did Krishna do? Did he make them go home, or did he listen to what their hearts were telling him? This is the moment that changes the whole story. After hearing how much they loved him, after seeing just how devoted they were, something shifted. Krishna looked at them and he smiled. It was a smile that said he understood. They had passed his test. And with that one smile, the real magic finally started. He welcomed them to join him, and the great Rasa dance began. This was it. This was the reward for their incredible, unwavering love.
And what a scene it was. Krishna was right there in the center, shining like the moon, and all the gopis danced around him like a whole galaxy of brilliant stars. They were singing, they were dancing, and their faces were just glowing with pure joy. They felt, in that moment, like they were the luckiest people in the entire world.
But hang on, our story has one more twist. And it all starts with this next word, Manam. It's pronounced Ma-nam, and it means pride. You know, that feeling you get when you start to think you're a little more special than everybody else? That's Manam. And as we're about to see, that feeling can sometimes lead to trouble. And that is exactly what happened. The gopis were so happy, so proud to have been chosen, that they started to feel a little bit of that Manam. They began to think, wow, we are the most special women in the whole universe. And in the very instant that pride started to fill their hearts, poof, Krishna vanished. He was just gone. And that's where we're going to leave our story for today, with this big question. The gopis had reached the highest joy they could ever imagine, and then they lost it in a heartbeat. So what happens when you get a little too proud of being someone's favorite? What lesson did they still need to learn? Well, that sounds like a story for another time. Thanks for joining me.